Hey everyone, AYBL Maine back here today. I wasn't here yesterday and spent 7 hours on a tennis court for the singles regional tournament, and wanted to take time out this morning on Mother's Day to get this video done so I can go spend some time with the family. We're still counting down the top 5 albums for every year I've been alive, and we are on year 11, which is 1979, a very powerful year. This one was the toughest one. I really had to think about this quite a bit, pretty much all day yesterday in my free time, and then I did a little bit of research this morning. So it was a real tough one to come up with, so bear with me. In my top 5 is definitely Michael Jackson's Off the Wall. I know that there are some people out there that actually like this album more than they like Thriller. I'm not sure I'm ready to go that far yet, but I definitely like the title track and Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. It certainly had that post-disco feel and that early 90s R&B stuff that was ready to come out. So not early 90s, early 80s R&B. So you know, it's a good album and it's solid. It's definitely a top 5 album for that year. Also in the top 5 will be Tom Petty's Damn the Torpedoes. Solid album through and through. That Heartland rock stuff I really always attached myself to, especially with Petty and John Mellencamp, Springsteen. Great stuff. It's got Refugee on it and Don't Do Me Like That and Here Comes My Girl. All solid tracks. Definitely should check that one out. It may be my favorite Petty album for sure. Also on my list is Supertramp, Breakfast in America. My favorite Supertramp album, of course, you know, I had a little bit of hate on Crime of the Century earlier in my series, but this album is solid. It's got the Logical song on it and Take the Long Way Home. All good songs, and they also used Breakfast in America was also sampled by the Gym Class Heroes back in the early 2000s for their song Cupid's Chokehold, which they later had to attribute some of that to Supertramp when they put that together. So kind of an interesting fact there. Solid album though. Also in my top 5 is London Calling by The Clash. I went back and forth on this one for a while about which one I actually thought was number 1. Kind of listened to it both ways, and on a given day I probably would feel differently. London Calling to me is probably, when you're talking about influence, you're definitely going to put that up there in the top 10, 20. But for overall, for my taste anyway, I got it here. It's in the top 5, but it's not in the top spot. I love Guns of Brixton, Rudy Can't Fail, the title track. I almost consider The Clash, when I listen to it, I almost feel like it's reggae, and it's got a lot of reggae influences in it. So I really like the album a lot. But the number 1 album for this year is going to be for me The Wall by Pink Floyd. Now, it's not my favorite Pink Floyd album, but it does have so many solid tracks. It was hard to keep it off of there. I like Hey You, Comfortably Numb, Young Lust, Run Like Hell. Obviously another Brick in the Wall Part 2 is a staple for most people. It's just a solid album, and for a double album it pulls it off pretty well. There's not a lot of filler in here. So The Wall is my number 1 album for 1979. Now, of course, I always have the album that everybody said I should love, but I actually didn't. And I actually don't like the band very much. And they only had 2 albums. It was Joy Division's Unknown Pleasures. I didn't really like it that much. I like Closer a little bit better, but still not even a lot in and of itself, considering how much people hyped up the album. I've listened to it, and really the only song that ever resonated with me, they're kind of a post-punk band, was Transmission. It was okay, but definitely not all the hype that people put behind these albums. I just couldn't feel what they were feeling with Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division. So that's all I got for 1979, guys. I'll see you once we hit the 80s, and things are going to get a whole lot different. You guys take care.